In this video, we're going to be reacting to the unappreciated brilliance of Floch Forster's. I do not hate Floch. Let me preface that now. Let's get straight to it.
Among some of the most hated characters in Attack on Titan, and
Is he
for very
hated?
good reason. Betraying Hange in the military
see my
to
comment
join
sections, bro.
Eren, killing people who would
Our
even
comment
dare
sections look
besmirch the name
bad.
of his great leader. Floch has dedicated his heart to the dream of a world flattened by the oppressive force of global genocide, and boy, does he actually look pretty good doing it. The truth is that, much like Gabi Braun, for example, the hate for this character significantly underscores the sheer brilliance that is Floch.
Okay,
so this is the underappreciated brilliance of Floch's character. Let's get into it. It's important to start from the beginning with Floch, as to see how much this character has changed so subtly and rather drastically.
Like a
One day in the
crybaby.
garrison, John and the rest of the Survey Corps are eating when he makes a comment about how the only excited transfers are those with zero practical experience. Something he's noticed, as there aren't many veterans around and thus can pick them out of a crowd due to their excitement and sunny dispositions. This catches the ear of one Floch Forster, who transferred to the 104th on the basis that the Survey Corps were short-handed and needed extra soldiers.
I remember this scene.
Floch mirrors in many ways the excitement.
I remember this scene. They were all like brooding at the table, bro. But also when everybody started looking, all the new recruits started looking at the at Eren and their whole group, they noticed like how like the looks of joy and stuff like that on their faces had gone. Like they seen something, which when he told them that, he was right in a sense. Like until Floch saw what happened in that entire regiment to get killed and Erwin, until he saw that, bro, I don't think he completely understood that it's a dark ass world outside of them walls.
Of humanity at the time, what with the success that the Survey Corps was having. Though Floch notices something himself. It's something in their eyes. They've changed, and John asks if he would like to know. Floch turns him down, but this is our base for Floch. He's just a pretty normal soldier.
Yeah, he just easy going.
Little did he know what Erwin had planned for him and the rest of his comrades.
Planned for him.
This leads us to the battle which would change Floch forever. The Battle of Shiganshina. On foot, Floch and the rest of the soldiers enter Shiganshina for the first time in a very long time. Their goal is simple: retake Shiganshina and figure out what the hell is inside.
He is saying this, like, I know he probably trying to be accurate or whatever, bro. Just say Shiganshina, bro. Like, what the fuck is the problem? Why are you saying it like this, bro?
Quickly, Armin warns the rest of the Survey Corps that the Titan shifters always use box tactics to get the jump on the rest of them. This is proven when Reiner jumps out of a hole from within the wall and takes out a soldier. This is quickly followed up by Levi stabbing him through the neck, but it isn't enough, and to combine that with Berthold and Zeke's Beast Titan entering the fray, the Battle of Shiganshina is underway. Floch and his group are directly ordered to protect the horses at all costs, as the hail of rocks starts from the Beast Titan, eviscerating squads of soldiers into bits. Captain Levi orders them to fall back towards the wall to protect the horses from the flurry of offense from Zeke and the Beast Titan. But Floch panics, shades of the Battle of Tross from Season 1, where many soldiers were left petrified from the sheer amount of chaos and horror that the Titans have over humans. Things only get bad to worse, as Erwin informs what's left of the Survey Corps that Squads Dirk, Marlene, and Klaus were all wiped out by the Beast Titan. With Erwin's plan now ruined, he only has one option left to salvage the retaking of Shiganshina. This is important in establishing that Floch is just like all of the other soldiers previously in the series. He's just a normal person who's now dealing with something so out of his element. While this is happening, Floch breaks down and laments ever joining the Survey Corps.
Like, why did I come
that
here?
3 squads were wiped out in an instant, Floch feels that the point of fighting this battle is useless. He knows what comes next, which is their death by the end of the day. The ultimate sacrifice.
Bro, his character is a totally different person.
Thinking back to him, all of this made sense. If humanity were to stay inside the walls, then one day they'd fall to the Titans, which dwelled outside them. So when hearing the words of the recruiter, it gave him a purpose to go out and be one of the proud few who would fight so that others didn't have to. It's just that there was a hitch. in Floch's logic. He didn't know that his
that
death would be
motherfucker
so
is mad.
meaningless. And now witnessing firsthand so many of his fellow soldiers die, he believed that he was the fool for thinking his life would be any different. Floch has shattered into a million pieces, like a mirror. This ideal he built up within his head was nothing but a lie.
Nothing.
At least for him. But there is one man who may be able to fix that broken mirror. With only one option left, Erwin has to give up his dream of ever knowing what's inside the basement and sacrifice all of the Survey Corps in an attempt to take down the Beast Titan. Before heading into battle, Floch asks Erwin if it is alright to disobey the orders to charge and to flee, to which he says yes. But more importantly, Erwin reminds Floch and the others that their deaths, whether they believe it to be meaningless
that speech,
or
if I would have heard that
unfairly
speech,
cut
bro, I
short,
would have gave my
still
life up too. I'm not gonna lie.
something. The memories of their lives, their dutiful sacrifices to save
I would have been okay with
humanity, and
losing
those
a
which
leg or
came
some shit
before
like
them.
that.
This
though.
is not some meaningless
These niggas
action
weak.
to serve a government or people. This is the life and death of humanity as they know it, and their deaths will serve as examples for the future generations who will find meaning in their sacrifices. It's their duty, after all, to fight and die on the battlefield. Erwin, at this moment, became something more, something necessary to fight the evil of Marley. Erwin became the opposition's devil.
Hey,
Their
look, that image right
sacrifices
there, bro. Look, that image of him standing on a pile of bodies, bro. That imagery alone, bro, just let you know what's always going on inside his head. Cause he was just like, bro, it's already so much you done already done. You can't really come back from it. So why not keep pressing forward until you can't press no more?
Of Marley, Erwin became the opposition's devil. Their sacrifices meant something. Levi was able to take down the Beast Titan and capture Zeke. While requiring a heavy loss, the sole survivors of the charge are Levi, Erwin, and Floch. Wandering around the battlefield, he discovers a mortally wounded Erwin Smith and brings him back to where Levi and what's left of the Survey Corps are. There is a decision that now has to be made. Erwin, the head of the Survey Corps and savior for humanity, or the life of Armin, brilliant tactician who was key in planning some of their biggest victories. While Erwin and Mikasa stand on the side of saving Armin, Floch chooses Erwin. Because in his mind, he was the one that roused everyone to charge, and his 1 in a million shot paid off and worked. Erwin was successful in bringing down the Beast Titan, and for that reason, Floch feels that the only person that can defeat the Titans is a demon, and his purpose for living was this moment. But it is Armin who is chosen to live by Erwin himself, once again shattering Floch. This is the moment I believe Floch changed to the person that he is now. After miraculously surviving hell, his reward is to watch his commander, the one who gave him a meaningful death right in front of his eyes, die. To make matters worse, the man chosen was Armin, who never showed the guts, the bravery, the tenacity to face a decision, no matter how right or wrong it was. Later after the battle, when they're at a ceremony honoring the fallen,
he holds him in that
Floch tells Hitch the truth about what happened on the battlefield. More specifically, that Marlowe, while fighting honorably until the end, probably still regretted being there. This is true, as moments before Marlowe's death, he realized that his place was not on the battlefield, but with Hitch. This does not sit well with John, and when Armin arrives, he tells Floch that he knows he chose Erwin over himself. On top of that, everyone knows that the better choice was Erwin too. I mean, everyone who read the reports agreed. They were all unanimous. Though, this does not stop Eren from trying to fight back in Armin's honor. Floch stops him and scolds Eren for being childish because of this. For Floch, it was about telling the truth, no matter how much it hurt. Going out onto that field and charging forward for humanity, he feels that a weakling like himself should have been told what the reality of all of this was. But even so, even if he was weak and useless, his opinion should still be valued here. Armin relates to this because both have survivor's guilt. And if you're not familiar, this occurs when people who survive a life-threatening situation feel guilty that they survived, believing that it should have been them to die, not the people that did. Floch, as much as Armin, is suffering from that guilt. It wasn't Floch who should have survived, but Erwin, as he was cowardly and Erwin was brave. After all, he saw firsthand the way Floch acted
I don't
under
know,
duress.
because
Though the reality is that
Armin
Floch was
did,
just
bro.
as
He
brave
took-
as
he-
any
he-
of
he-
those men
he
and
chose
women.
to die
he didn't
that day.
hide. He didn't run.
He made kind of the
charged
same-
just like all of the others, and by
He
random
made the same
chance,
decision,
he was
bro,
the only
to
survivor.
die. He
Years
wanted to die to
before
make sure
the
everybody else had to go
invasion
home
of
that day.
Liberio,
So honestly,
Floch
it kinda
arranges
did the
for
same
Erwin
thing on the
to
same
make
day.
contact with Yelena, who
It's just
explains
Levi
Zeke's plan
and
of
Floch only saw
euthanizing
the
all
other part.
Eldians using the power of the founding Titan. After this meeting, Erwin confides in Floch his true plan, which is to act like he's following Yelena and Zeke's, but in reality, Erwin plans
That's
to
my only
unleash
problem
the
with Floch is that
on the
I don't know,
world,
bro. I feel
which
like
Floch
he
agrees
started
to,
doing a lot when
and
they
so
started.
begins
When they
what
started
is
moving forward
the
with the
birth
Jaegerists
of
plan,
the
like,
Jaegerists.
I don't know.
I
I
do
don't feel
find
like
this
Eren told him
relationship
specifically to
interesting,
do a
as
lot of the
prior
shit that he was
Floch would
doing.
call Eren
It's not that-
childish, and
it's not
even
that what he
somewhat
was
blame him
doing
for Erwin's death,
wasn't
but
a
it's in this moment
good
that
thing,
Floch
or
sees something
to go
in
along with the
Eren
Jaegers
he
plan wasn't
hadn't
good. I
seen prior.
understand saving
A
your home and
devil.
saving your
Floch's
people, fuck the
idea
rest of
of
the
a
world.
true leader
I
is
just like
someone
he was
who will
acting
do
weird.
what
Like, I don't think
must
Eren
be
would have did
done
the
to
same shit he
defeat
was
the
doing.
Titans and Marley, and that requires a devil. Eren's plan is exactly something Floch would believe in, and it's that plan which gets Floch on board. What's great about this is that in Liberio, when John argues with Floch about civilian casualties, Floch states just this. This would eventually lead to Floch and Eren forming the Jaegerist faction, which would stage a coup and overthrow Paradis' military, gaining control of the island. Floch is someone who, while a total asshole in every sense of the word, is someone who has a lot of justification for what he believes in. This is a common theme of Attack on Titan, with many characters who are justified in the ways that they feel. Gabi Braun, Eren Yeager, etc. These are all people who we can see and relate to where they're coming from on some level. In the case of Floch, we see a man broken by the reality of war and the fragility of not only his life, but just the meaning of it. Floch joining the Survey Corps never wanted his life to be meaningless, and thus, after surviving the charge of the Beast Titan, it completely shattered his mind. The devil that was supposed to lead humanity to victory instead chose Armin of all people, and all he could do was sit back and watch, just like how he watched all of his friends and comrades die moments prior in a death charge. So, when Eren told Floch of his plan, he realized that Eren wasn't the child that he thought he was. Eren is the second coming of the devil they needed all along, and he will facilitate that devil, no matter the cost, no matter if he must become a devil himself in the process. The reality is that Floch Forster will do anything for the survival of his people. He was there in Liberio to ensure they were successful. Floch and his men were there to beat Gabi and Falco after Sasha was murdered. Floch never fled when given the chance, even from his own death. He knew what needed to be done, and so he does exactly what will make his dream become a reality: the safety of Paradis and its people. He's a slave to his beliefs. Now, this is fascinating because of the person Floch has become, his ideals, his belief, his actions. They're not that different from Erwin, because both would do anything and everything to keep moving forward and protect those who could not be protected. Erwin made the tough decisions. He sacrificed himself and his soldiers, knowing full well what that would mean. Floch would do the same. But here is the key to why people hate Floch so much, and well, their key difference. Erwin wouldn't try to justify his actions in the murder or wrongdoings he's committed. Unlike Floch, that would weigh on Erwin's shoulders heavily, because while realizing there wasn't a better path, he knew full well that it would be their only option, and if he could take the better path, he would, so no one would die. In other words, Erwin kept his morals in the face of his devilish actions, but never lost his way and became a devil himself. Here is the reality. Floch is justified for helping to overthrow and create the Jaegerists. In a moment when the world needed action against the oppressive forces of Marley, the military simply failed the people. A revolution was necessary for that of Paradis, and that's one thing we can all say
they put a lot of stuff on top of her. I
don't
even think she ever asked for this job. I think she just wanted to be a scientist.
Someone has to step in. Humanity had no other choice, because Marley wasn't giving them an option.
Remember the Hans that we met?
All life on Paradis.
The Hans we met spent days studying over two Titans that they caught,
and this
and
kind
asking
of
Eren everything about him shifting back and forth from being a Titan.
Floch did to become the
She's not a commander of the military.
Because much like Erwin Smith, who became a devil
don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Paradis, Eren became a devil by unleashing the rumbling to stop Marley. Because what other choice did Eren Yeager have? Floch, on the other hand, is a hypocrite, a liar, He will kill the supporters who brought the Jaegerists their power and position, babbling on about what it means to be truly free. That word though, free. What is Floch's definition? He believes
he get into his bag with his last statement.
Who allows you to live, only because you didn't slander the oh-so-great genocidal leader, Eren Yeager. Floch justifies what Erwin can't. Floch kills his people that Erwin vowed to protect. Floch overthrows the government and military that Erwin helped proliferate and grow. Floch will do what is necessary to win, even if it is destroying and corrupting what Erwin Smith and the rest of the Survey Corps established. The Jaegerists, Eren Yeager, Floch Forster, these people are the devils of paradise. But you know what? That's what makes Floch's character brilliant.
Hey, look, he got in his bag at last little 2 minutes. I thought he was gonna meet such like the whole video. He didn't.
When you juxtapose these evalities with the realization that Floch and Eren are humanity's only chance of survival, you realize how truly multifaceted Floch is. He may be one of the most complex villains in all of Attack on Titan, and in fact, could be the best. While Gabi Braun surely gets a lot of unneeded hate, Floch is the one character to whom I think people are reacting to correctly. Floch,
I don't know, sometimes I feel like even though it's the same word, antagonist and villain, sometimes I feel like it's like a distinction. Because really, bro, we understand why Floch is the way he is.
An unequivocal asshole.
So it's hard to try to call him like a villain.
He's
like
brilliant.
A hard villain.
He's layered. And because of that, Floch is underappreciated as a character.
Shout out SeaTactics for the video, bro. I mean, hey, he opened my eyes about a little stuff, bro. Like, I understand. And I don't hate Floch. I don't hate Floch whatsoever, bro. I just feel as if, like he said in the video, he a little bit hypocritical, which, hey, to each his own. Floch is a fire character, bro. I just don't know about, I don't really know if he's an antagonist for real, bro. How can we call the Jaegers antagonist if, I agree, you know what I'm saying? Like, but hey, look, like, comment, and subscribe if you new, bro. Hey, leave a comment down in the description and tell me how y'all feel about Floch yourselves, and I'm out, bro.